Happy New Year! Here's the homework for Tuesday. The first square is the algebra of balanced equations. Which number will balance each equation? Prove it with work. So, for each side, there's a blank, and we have to figure out what this side equals. So first, I'm going to group together two numbers that's easy for me to multiply. 3 and 2 is 6. Then I multiply that by 4 and get 24. So what times 8 gives you 24? Well, 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. Alright, so we have blank minus 24 equals 12. So we have to figure out what goes in that blank. Well, if I add these two together, that will give me my answer. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus 1 is 3. So let's try it. Let's see if 36 minus 24 equals 12. 6 minus 4 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. That works. So 36 goes in the blank. Okay, over here we have to solve for this side and figure out what goes in the blank. And they have numbers already grouped for us, so we can solve. 12 plus 5 is 17. 8 plus 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then we add 17 and 13 together. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 20, 30. So what plus 10 equals 30? 20. Alright, the next question is showing us patterns. 3 of them are numerical, meaning they have numbers. 1 of them is symbols. So we have to figure out what comes next. So we have 4, 8, 12. So what can I do to 4 to get to 8? Well, I could multiply by 2, but 8 times 2 is not 12, so that doesn't work. I could add 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8 plus 4 is 12, so that rule seems to work. Let's add another 4. 4 plus 12 is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. 20 plus 4 is 24. So, a little bit of work there. You had to find the rule and continue the pattern. For B, 35, 31, 27. So I notice my numbers are decreasing, so they're going down. So let's see how much we can subtract by. 35 minus 4 equals 31. 31 minus 4 equals 27. 27 minus 4, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. 23 minus 4, 23, 22. 21, 20, 19. 19 minus 4, 19. 18, 17, 16, 15. Next pattern starts with a blank. 16, 24, 32. So my numbers are increasing. So what could I do to 16 to get to 24? Well, I could multiply. What times 16 equals 24? Well, let's try it. 16 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. 32. That doesn't work. So maybe if I add something to 16, I'll get 24. What can I add to 16 to get 24? Here's a quick way to figure it out. Take these two numbers and subtract them. 24 minus 16. Got to do some borrowing here. 14 minus 6. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, that's 8. 1 minus 1 is 0. So between these two numbers are 8. So let's add 24 plus 8 and see if we get 32. If we do, our rule works. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Carry my 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 32. So my rule is plus 8. So I could do 32 plus 8 to get my next number. 32 plus 8. 8, 9, 10, 40. Now, I have to get the number before 16. So going this way, I was adding 8. Going this way, you're subtracting 8. So 16 minus 8, well, that should be a quick fact. Think of what plus 8 equals 16. Borrow, and it's 8. Okay, for D, we have a numerical pattern. It has arrow pointing right, arrow pointing up, arrow pointing left, arrow pointing down. So, I'm assuming this pattern starts back over with arrow pointing right, arrow pointing up. All right, here are some measurement questions with time. So it says the clock above shows what time it was when you left to go to the store. If you returned from the store at 4:40, how long were you gone? So we got to do a couple things here. First, we have to figure out what this clock is showing us. Okay? A lot of people look at this clock and think, oh, it's pointing to the 2 and the 10. It must be 2:50. Or some people don't know how to read a clock and they'll say, oh, it's 10:02. But that's not how we read it. So if we look at the hour hand, it's not yet on the 2, which means it's almost 2, but it's still 1. And then remember, when we count by 5s, we get what the time is landing on the 10. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So the time is 1:50. Well, that's just the first part of us solving this problem. We know our start time. We know our end time. Now we have to figure out how much our elapsed time was, how much time went by. And I like to show this on a number line. So, on your scrap sheet of paper, write your number line with your start time, which is 1:50, and your end time, which it tells us is 4:40. So we have to figure out how many jumps we can make. Well, I start with friendly jumps. Can we jump 1 hour? Yeah, we can. If we jump 1 hour from 1:50, it'll be 2:50. Can we jump another hour? Yeah, we can. If we jump another hour, it'll be 3:50. So now we have to get from 3:50 to 4:40. I can't jump another hour because if I did, it would be 4:50. So let me get this to a friendly time. I'm going to jump this 10 minutes because that's going to get me to 4 o'clock. Okay, so I took 3:50, I added 10 minutes to it to get to a friendly time, and that way I can jump the exact amount of minutes I have left. So I'm going to take this and jump my last 40 minutes. Okay, now that I did that, I count up how much time I jumped here on my number line. Okay, so I jumped 1 hour, 2 hours, 10 minutes plus 40 minutes is 50 minutes. So, person, you were at the store 2 hours and 50 minutes. And this timeline will be your friend when helping you figure out the time questions. All right, next question. Brandon got home at 5:15 and went to bed at 8:30. How much time did he spend at home? So we know our start time and we know our end time. We have to figure out how much time passed. What was the elapsed time? So I'm going to go back to my number line. So we know our start time was 5:15 and our end time was 8:30. So we'll start there. Think, can you make an hour jump? Yeah, you can. When you jump an hour, if you notice up here, the minutes stayed the same. Anytime you jump an hour, the only thing that's changing is the hour. So if I jump an hour, this will change to 6, but my minutes will stay the same. So I jump from 5:15 to 6:15. Can I jump another hour? Yes. If I jump another hour, that will be 7:15. Can I jump another hour? Yeah, I sure can, because that would give me to 8:15. So now I have to go from 8:15 to 8:30. So if you look at that clock, think of how much time would pass to get you to those. And that's going to be a quarter hour, which is 15 minutes. So now add my jumps, 1 hour plus 1 hour plus 1 hour, that's 3 hours. And my minutes, 15. So how much time did they spend at home? 3 hours, 15 minutes. All right, now our social studies. A person who studies artifacts and learn about the past is a blank. A, biologist, B, archaeologist, C, historian, D, architect. So a biologist studies life that's living. Archaeologists, they study artifacts. Historian, they study the past, but not specifically artifacts. Architect is someone who builds things. So the best answer is B. Number 2, people living in Alexandria would travel blank to get to the city of Fredericksburg. So you got to think about your rivers. Please remember your jobs. And remember, Alexandria is with the Potomac River. Fredericksburg is with the Rappahannock. So what direction would they be going from Alexandria to Fredericksburg? That's south. Number 3, during the fall, Algonquian tribes blank. So what did the Native Americans do in the fall? A, started fishing more? No, they did that in the spring. B, started hunting deer? Maybe. Mostly they did that in the winter time. C, began harvesting and storing food? Yes, absolutely, because the fall was right after they got their bountiful agriculture in the summer. D, picked berries? No, the berries are all dying off by now because they grow in the spring. So I think C and B are good possible answers. Number 4, if you were traveling from the fall line to the region that is the source of many Virginia's rivers, which direction would you travel? Okay, so a lot of clues here and you got to figure out. I like to think of my compass rose down here, north, south, east, west, just kind of like we did here. If we're at the fall line, got to think about where that is. All right, here's my wonderful map of Virginia. Here's the fall line, okay? And we're going to the region that is the source of many rivers. Well, we have to know that. Which region is the source of many rivers? It's the Blue Ridge. Remember, the rivers start in the mountains and go down. So the Blue Ridge is kind of over here. So what direction would that be if I'm traveling this way from the fall line to the Blue Ridge region? That's west. And then number 5, what region is the source of many rivers? Well, I gave you that answer right here.